What if evil isn't just an idea, but a presence? Not just human weakness, but something watching, influencing, whispering. For centuries, people across cultures have believed in a being called the devil, a deceiver, an accuser, an enemy of good. But is the devil real, or is he just a symbol we use to explain the darkness within us? Welcome back to Sacred Questions, a place where we explore the deepest, most difficult questions about God, faith, and truth. Today's question is one that sits at the crossroads of theology, psychology, and personal experience. Is the devil real? Is Satan an actual being, a spiritual force actively at work in the world? Or is he a metaphor, an ancient way of describing evil, temptation, and human brokenness? And maybe more importantly, what difference does the answer make for how we live? If we turn to the Bible, the devil is presented not as a symbol, but as a real, personal being. In the Old Testament, we encounter a figure called the Satan, which means the accuser. In the book of Job, Satan appears as one who challenges human faithfulness, questioning whether people truly love God or just the blessings he gives. In the New Testament, the picture becomes even more vivid. Jesus himself speaks of Satan as real, calling him the father of lies, and describing him as one who seeks to deceive and destroy. In the wilderness, Jesus is tempted, not by an abstract idea, but by a personal tempter, and throughout his ministry, Jesus casts out demons, treating them not as metaphors, but as real spiritual entities. For many Christians, this is decisive. If Jesus believed in a real devil, and if Scripture consistently presents him as such, then denying his existence would mean reinterpreting large parts of the Bible. But others ask, could this language be symbolic? Could it reflect the worldview of an ancient time rather than literal reality? Some theologians and philosophers suggest that the devil represents something deeply real, but not necessarily a literal being. In this view, the devil is a way of naming the reality of evil, especially the kind that feels bigger than any one person. Think about it. There are moments in history, wars, genocides, acts of cruelty, that seem almost beyond explanation. People ask, how could humans do this? The idea of the devil becomes a way to describe that depth of darkness. Psychologically, the devil can also represent inner conflict, the voice that tempts, distorts, rationalizes, the whisper that says, just this once, no one will know, you deserve it. In this sense, the devil is not an external enemy, but an internal struggle, a symbol of the brokenness within human nature. But here's the tension. If the devil is only symbolic, does that make evil easier to explain or harder? Because now the responsibility rests entirely on us. There's no external force to blame, only human choice, and that can be uncomfortable. This question connects to something deeper, the nature of evil itself. Where does evil come from? Some thinkers argue that evil is not a thing at all, but the absence of good, like darkness, is the absence of light. In that case, the devil might be seen not as a creator of evil, but as a being who has turned away from good entirely. Others suggest that the idea of a devil helps make sense of moral experience, because sometimes evil feels intentional, not random, not accidental, but purposeful. And that raises a difficult possibility. If there is real good in the world, could there also be a real opposition to it? Let's be honest. For many people today, the idea of the devil feels outdated, even uncomfortable. It can sound like mythology or something used to control people through fear. Some worry that believing in the devil leads to avoiding responsibility. It wasn't me, it was temptation. Others go the opposite direction, seeing evil as purely human and rejecting anything supernatural altogether. Even people who don't believe in a literal devil often describe experiences that feel eerily similar. Moments of overwhelming temptation, thoughts that don't feel entirely their own, a sense of being pulled towards something they know is destructive. So the question becomes, whether or not we call it the devil, what do we do with those experiences? Maybe the most important question isn't just, is the devil real? But how should we respond to the reality of evil, wherever it comes from? Because whether you see the devil as a literal being or a powerful symbol, The struggle between good and evil is undeniably real. It shows up in our choices, our relationships, our thoughts. The Bible's message, at its core, is not just that evil exists, but that it does not have the final word. That truth is stronger than deception, that light overcomes darkness, that love is more powerful than anything that seeks to destroy it. And that's where this question becomes personal. Because it's not just about what we believe, it's about how we live. So, what do you think? Is the devil a real, personal being, a symbolic way of understanding evil, or something else entirely? I'd genuinely love to hear your perspective. Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is a space for respectful, honest conversation. And if you're drawn to questions like this, questions that challenge, deepen, and stretch your faith, subscribe to Sacred Questions. Because sometimes the most important answers begin with the most uncomfortable questions.